So we just built this, a giant masterpiece of artwork of horses by artists from all around the world from this one little book. And it was easy. And we're going to show you how to do it right now. Everything you're going to need to build this is right here in this little book. This book full of great paintings by artists from around the world all have a number on the back of each page. Now by following the numbers, you go to the front of the book and you can see there's a grid which tells you where every single square has to go, as well as full instructions. Now follow me and we're going to give you a step-by-step description of how this whole thing is going to actually come together from this one little book. Okay, my name is Phil Elaine, and I'm the producer of the Mural Mosaic book, and I work closely with Louis Lavoie. And we're going to start this little project off by simply cutting the pages out of the book. So on the back of each page, you'll see a little dotted line. So grab a metal ruler and basically an X-Acto blade works great, and just slowly start cutting through each one of the pages. Now, as you go, you may cut through 2 or 3 pages at a time. That's fine, but as you'll see, the pages pop out very nicely. So once you get to the end of the book, you'll have yourself a nice collection of horses. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not a crafty person, and this actually is quite simple to do. So let's get to the glues. Now, the best glue that we prefer to use is the liquid glue pen. Now, it's a water-based glue, and what you do is just grab the pen, and as you can see, it's very easy to work with, very much like using a pen, and just cover the entire square with lots of glue, put it down, and squeegee out all the air bubbles. Now, you'll probably get some excess glue going over the edges. That's not a problem. In fact, it actually works really well because that actually acts as a sealant around all the other squares, and as you go along, they all piece together that much easier. So just go to town now. Now, if you start at the top left corner, just put one square side by side, going all along. Just take your time, and as you slowly watch the mural come to life, I mean, obviously this is fast, but as you take your time and go through it, you'll see that the bigger picture is going to start to come to life. Now, I know every time I do this, it always blows my mind that when I'm looking at each one of these paintings, each one has a life of its own, and you're just more into the stories behind each one of the horses that's within the mural. Then all of a sudden you'll start to see little hints of the bigger picture coming to life, and it just boggles your mind that each one of these paintings done by artists from around the world is actually going to make a much bigger picture. It actually is very exciting. You'll see once you get halfway through the project. So there it is. It's the actual horse made up of hundreds of horses.
Thanks, Phil. My name's Louis Lavoie, and I'm the director of this project. So we're going to make a grid. A grid is actually a lot of fun putting one of these books together as a grid. So basically, to get the measurements of the grid, as you can see here, we're using the book distance for our measurements. So you measure one tick, the next tick. If you've never built a grid before, you just basically measure one end of the board, and you go way down to the other end and measure the other end of the board, and then you draw your lines straight across, and then you draw your lines horizontal. So here's Phil. He's doing the vertical lines, and then he's going to do the horizontal lines, and where the lines meet, make your grid. So it's very simple. If you've never built a grid before, just take your time. It's pretty easy. Because this mural is a lot bigger than the last mural we did, you're going to end up using 2 sheets of coroplast or whatever you used for the last one, or you can do it directly on the wall. So after you build your grid, you're going to number everything, and the numbers are going to line up with the pages of the book. So page number 1 is going to go in number 1. So the best way to do this is to shuffle all the pages so that when you pull out a page, you're going to randomly put it on. So you don't know which page you're going to pull out, and you don't know where it's going to go on the grid. This allows you to build your mural over a period of like 2 weeks, a year, however long you want to build it. Some people do these like devotionals. They'll pull out their page and they'll read about that horse, and then they'll stick it on. And then that way they can slowly see their mural coming together over the course of a long time. The other way of doing it is to do it like a team building, which is another great way. You have a team of 10, 20 people, and you divide all the pages up between everybody and have them all go up there, one person at a time, sticking it down. Here we're putting some glue on. As you can see, he's putting lots of glue on. It's better to put more glue than not enough. And this type of glue is actually very forgiving, as when it dries crystal clear. So it doesn't leave your mural looking all streaky. It actually kind of gives it a bit of a sealant. So use a credit card or one of these craft squeegees and just squeeze out all the glue and just pull it all out. Like pull it right over the next picture. Like don't be afraid of the glue getting all over the place. Unless you use a different type of glue, and then that way you're going to have to do a little test. So here you see the pictures going on randomly. None of the kids knew what the final picture was going to be. These are kids in my neighborhood, and we asked them to come and help us build this thing. They actually had a lot of fun coming out and building it. And as they started to see that some of these lines were making things, they started getting really excited, and they started really, speeding up the process of it. So there you have it, a life-size mural of a horse. So if you want to have a mural that's equivalent to the same size as a real horse, it's Le Cadeau de Cheval.